Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Around the World. The balance of power in global geopolitics is never static. It is always changing. This thought perfectly fits today's geopolitical situation, especially when it comes to the Ukraine crisis. This conflict has now become not just a regional dispute, but a complex battleground for global power dynamics. And this confrontation has given international politics a new twist. After the annexation of Crimea by Russia in 2014 and the ongoing war in Donbass, Ukraine has become the epicenter of competition between the Western world and Russia. However, now with US President Donald Trump imposing a freeze on military aid to Ukraine, this balance of power may shift once again. This decision has become a serious concern not only for Ukraine, but for the entire Europe and global stability. Therefore, in light of the current situation, several important questions arise, such as: will the freeze on US military aid to Ukraine alter the balance of the Russia-Ukraine war? And amid the increasing divisions in Europe, will the European Union be able to provide a unified response to defend Ukraine? These are some of the questions we will attempt to answer in this video. Let's begin the discussion. In recent developments, US President Donald Trump has ordered a freeze on all military aid to Ukraine. This decision came just a few days after a heated argument with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the Oval Office, in which Trump called Zelensky a stupid president and pressured him for a ceasefire. Trump also claimed that the US had provided $350 billion in aid to Ukraine so far. This decision has raised concerns in European countries. In response, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced a 4-point plan to end the war and defend Europe from Russia. Meanwhile, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk described Europe's current situation as lacking imagination and courage and stated that it should rely on itself for its security. According to experts, the relationship between the US and Ukraine has become tense due to recent events. The argument between Trump and Zelensky deepened this tension. Trump tried to convince Zelensky to agree to a ceasefire, but Zelensky refused until security guarantees were provided. As a result, the US has frozen military aid to Ukraine, further escalating Ukraine's security challenges. Meanwhile, internal differences are emerging in Europe as well, which may hinder a united response to defend Ukraine. Some European countries have expressed their commitment to support Ukraine, while others hesitate to offer open support due to internal political and economic concerns. This division may benefit Russia as it weakens the unity of the European Union and reduces international support for Ukraine. If Europe remains divided on this issue, it may encourage Russia to adopt a more aggressive policy. In fact, the biggest challenge for European countries is balancing their security needs and energy supplies. Countries like Germany and France are heavily dependent on Russian energy supplies, while Eastern European countries view Russia as a greater threat. This division has complicated the European Union's security policy. The Ukraine crisis has exposed several challenges in global politics. The freeze on military aid by the US and growing divisions in Europe have jeopardized Ukraine's security. Some important steps can be taken to address this crisis. First, it is essential to promote diplomatic efforts to ensure that all parties involved try to find a solution through dialogue. Second, there is a need to ensure the unity of the European Union so that European countries can collectively support Ukraine's security and territorial integrity. Third, the United Nations and other international bodies should play an active role in resolving the crisis to maintain a balance among all parties. Ultimately, it should be ensured that human rights violations do not occur during this conflict and that the safety of civilians remains a priority. The Ukraine crisis is not limited to military conflict. It is also affecting the global energy supply, economic stability, and international relations. Sanctions imposed on Russia have destabilized the global energy market, leading to a rise in oil and gas prices. Furthermore, this conflict is also affecting global supply chains. If instability increases in Europe, it will have an adverse impact on the global economy and energy supply, which may affect India's strategic priorities. Therefore, India will focus on mediation, humanitarian assistance, and diplomatic solutions while keeping its defense and economic interests in mind rather than supporting one side. Ultimately, the Ukraine crisis is a complex and sensitive issue that demands vigilance, understanding, and cooperation from the international community. The solution to the crisis can only be achieved through coordinated efforts and diplomatic dialogue. If global powers do not take coordinated steps in time, this conflict could escalate further, delivering a significant blow to international stability. So viewers, we conclude the discussion here and take note of today's question. How has the Ukraine crisis affected global power balance, international security, and economic stability? Analyze the possible diplomatic solutions.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.